I'm Julie Hornock with United in Autism, and today I'm so excited to introduce them to you. We have the Disorderly Blondes. We have Kristi and Brenda, and they are the Disorderly Blondes Autism Podcast. We are going to make it easy, right? So these girls, their podcast is so fun. It's, as you all know, it's hard. Autism life is hard. And so they talk about it and make it fun. Like when I listen to it, I feel like I am sitting out by my pool or on a beach or doing something enjoyable. And then, yes, exactly. And then I realize, well, the laundry's all still there, but that's okay. Because you can have, like a 50-minute break from your real world if you listen to them. So we are going to do 2 autism truths and 1 lie with them, because they tell me they're good liars, but I have assured them. I'll be looking at their pupils. I will be reading all their cues. So, all right. Well, do you want to guess first? I'll give you my lies. You guys try and guess mine?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So I have 3, and you have to guess which one is the lie. Number 1, my daughter at one point when she was maybe 7, 8 years old was obsessed with Cinderella. And she's 16 now, so this was like 8 years ago. And we would get all of these calls just from like people trying to sell us stuff, like advertising, whatever. And I decided it was a whole lot of fun because she would script all day long Cinderella and the movie. And so I thought, well, I'm just gonna make it useful. And so I would hand the phone to her and I would let her just script that whole movie for as long as those people would stay on the phone. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, we were walking down a wide corridor and she pointed at an old man and in her big, loud, booming voice said, "That man is gonna die soon."
Welcome to autism. Yeah.
Number 3.
Funny? Yes. But we have to laugh about it.
We absolutely have to. If it's true. If it's not true, you should not laugh about that.
Yeah.
So then the third thing is that, life is hard for us, and sometimes we don't get the things done we used to get done. And so my daughter had started a therapy that was inside the house, and I didn't leave a lot really at all. I mean, people would pick my son up and take him to school and stuff, but I didn't leave. And I realized at one point I had not taken a shower for 7 straight days. So that's the 3.
Which is a tough one. You take 2 months and you don't shower. I'm just joke.
It's true.
Speaking of. So we got 2 choices here.
Who's more intuitive, you or me?
Shoot. I'm gonna go with the Cinderella scripting.
You think that's the lie?
Yes. I believe it, but because all 3 can be scenarios.
Oh,
for sure.
Definitely.
But comparing to Dylan's notes when Dylan scripts, he scripts when he wants to, but I can't make him script on command.
On demand.
On command, whatever.
We're really getting into the details. I like it.
Right. So if I told Dylan, I could get him to sing a song or I don't know. That one's what I think. What do you think?
Yeah. Jared's a little bit like Michigan J. Frog, where he'll perform, and then when you want him to, he's like, ugh. So I'm gonna go with what you.
No, that's what you think.
That's what I think.
She thinks what I think.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Yes.
You are wrong.
The shower. So she scripts on command.
Yeah. So she loves to perform, and she just loves telling people, and I would say, Lizzie, they want to hear about Cinderella, and she'd be like, oh, and then I hand her the phone, and it was like, oh, and then the prince, and then she gets this cute little voice, and it was just, but she would literally go on and script the whole movie if you would let her. So I was like, I don't know at what point they would hang up or not,
Doesn't matter.
They're like, no, it doesn't matter. I got rid of them. That was my point. Yeah. Oh. I guess I thought about it later, and I'm like, I really should have listened in, make sure they're not like swearing at her, or like I would assume. But anyway, yeah. So that's true. And it is also true that my daughter pointed at somebody and said they were going to die. Yeah. So she was obsessed with death, and my grandmother had died, and I was trying really hard to explain it. But you know how our kids are tangible, and they need like things to look at. And so I had told her that, sometimes people look old and wrinkly and have a walker. And she saw a man that was old and wrinkly with a walker, and it was at church and everything. And it was just,
they put a bond in everyone.
I didn't even know where to go. I was like, sorry. And I was out, I was just running away from the scene. I didn't have no pride left. So, and then, yeah, the shower thing, like I definitely haven't showered for like.
I was going to say, I was going to actually guess that one and say, only because I hope that that's not true, but then I could also see it happening.
She knows me, she knows it's completely feasible.
Yeah. I think it's really possible because I probably 3 or 4 days, but then I get to a point where I like can't sit in my own filth for that long.
Yeah, that's true. You start smelling yourself. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just feels gross. So, all right, I cannot wait to hear your stuff. And
Okay, so you're gonna go first?
Which one do we start? Together, boys, Dylan.
You do Dylan first.
Dylan. Should we do Dylan, us, JR?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So, Dylan. So when Dylan was newly diagnosed, one of the things he used to do, which he doesn't do now, let me take it back, as much, is he does need closure all the time, but back then, if I was driving up to a red light, hopefully it was a green light, green lights were great, but when it was a red light, the second we would stop at the red light, he would start crying on cue. So it was like pull up and so then I learned to kind of slow down to each light or speed up or speed up through the light just because I didn't want him to cry. And that was, you can imagine, in Miami traffic, that was fun. And I got honked at a lot. I still get honked at.
Well, you get honked at because,
And it was the same thing with CDs, when in the break in between songs, crying, same thing. So he had a problem with I guess the space, the waiting in between.
That makes sense. Yes.
You're gonna have to tell our story because I'm a terrible storyteller.
So if you listen to episode 1, or anybody that has listened to episode 1, we talk about how we met. And we met at our kids' elementary school when they were kindergarten, pre-K, 3, 4, whatever it was. And we quickly realized that the kids were outside at the same time. So we used to, after coffee meetups, we used to drive up and hide behind the bushes and spy on the boys. It doesn't happen now because back then we didn't really have like cell phones. Right? We would be taking videos. But we would spy because we were worried as to what was going on in school. We were new to the school, and of course, we would do that.
And we're weird.
We hide in the bushes.
Yeah. Good. Okay, so my story. So JR, who's 15, comes home one day and he says, I am in the school play. And I was like, okay, totally out of character, and I'm dreading it a little bit because I don't know how he's going to act. I don't know if it's something that they just said, you're doing this, or something he volunteered for. You don't get a lot of information sometimes from school. So he is in this play. Not only is he in it, he is the lead / MC. So he's this lead, right? And so he is mic'd up. And it's one of those like mics that, that kind of comes around here, like he's on Michael Jackson tour or something like that. And so he did great. However, the school was not prepared for some of his commentary. He was mic'd the whole entire time. So not only was he saying his parts and that all that jazz, but he was making some side comments like, dude, Tyler, you're screwing up. We've been over this many times. Say your lines right. So all of his commentary was all encompassing with the
So
entire.
no filter like mom.
No.
Oh man. Okay, so I'm going to talk this through. So I will tell you all that I did read that you met at elementary school, and I actually have done the same exact thing. I have driven up there and spied on my daughter on the playground. I mean, I was all in. I did not have a partner in crime, which makes me really feel lonely and sad. But I'm proud for you guys if you had each other to do that with, because that would have been so cool. And then I really think this play thing is true because our kids, like my daughter's been in a play and she memorizes so well that she would get angry at the other people when they forget their parts, and she would know all their parts plus her own. So I'm going to say that's true. So I'm guessing that the lie is the driving up and crying thing, but I feel like it's like kind of.
Wait.
Wait.
I guess I felt like it was a lie version of a truth somewhere, but I'm going to say that's the lie.
We're good liars!
You are?
Yeah, so which one can we say? So the Dylan did cry at each light, and it was really annoying. And yeah, and I did get honked at, and that was terrible. And the play is true.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But good instincts.
But we did meet at the elementary school, but the only one that did bushes was me at another school in pre-K 2.
Oh.
We did have coffee, but then we never did the bushes, and our kids were different grades, so they didn't have PE or anything at the same time.
But our first meeting is very hard to believe, actually. So if you listen to our very first episode, season 1, you'll, not to plug us, but like our story, how we met.
That's the thing with all of us, is that I want to get every autism mom out there and what you're doing, because we all need each other, and when we build each other up, we're building us all up. So yes, plug yourself. I don't mind. You're awesome.
No, it was just that we kind of met in carpool and have no fear. Had the kids been in the same grade, we probably would have spied on them.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But she always makes fun of me. It's kind of like a running joke in our episodes that, I didn't hide behind the bushes, because that's something I definitely did. And I was spying on Dylan behind. So she always makes fun of me for that. But we met in carpool, and she was always parked in front of me. And I thought her life was perfect, because she was waiting for this beautiful little boy, and she had this other baby with her, and she's beautiful, fit. And I was like, wow, she has like no worries in her life. Everything in her life is perfect. And here I am going through all this personal stuff, and Dylan had just gotten diagnosed.
Oh,
yeah. She's so perfect, and look at me. And then we actually got introduced to someone else. And when I met her, I was like, oh, you're the girl from carpool that I parked behind you at all times. And then I got sad. I was like, your life isn't that perfect. Oh no. I was happy, but then I was like, oh no, like, you're part of our club. Oh gosh.
Yeah, I know.
You're not perfect. Yay!
And 11 years later, here we are.
Yeah, isn't it funny though how we do that, where we're like, oh, that person's life, there's nothing wrong with it, and then we find, everybody's got something really crazy going on in their life, and
it's just something to remember. To remember.
Yeah,
to keep
reminding
ourselves.
Something. Everyone has something.
Yeah, I've done my fair share of hating somebody because their life looks perfect. So, and then
we still do that.
We try not to, but it's human nature, I guess.
It is.
Well, thank you both for sharing. I've absolutely loved talking with you, and I'm going to tag you. I'm going to put all your info down. Everybody can check you out. So thanks for your time, and thanks for your lie. I appreciate it.
So much fun. Thank you so much,
Julie.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. See you later.